Good evening, everybody. We are back again, another live stream, and I can see we have good audio and good video. That's perfect. Yeah, today I have a challenge for myself, which is, and that's the title you can see in the YouTube video. You can see it's about the Berlin School Sequencer Challenge. So what I will do today is simply... Here I have a choir sound. Okay, that's a choir sound. But simply from scratch doing some old style Berlin sequencer stuff. So I would stack some synthesizers and see how it goes. And I start everything from scratch. So the only thing I did, of course, is having a let me see. I have a sequencer. Punch is playing drums. That's the only basic which is in the background, and the rest I'm gonna build up. So it has a beat. Maybe the beat could be a bit more higher. So let's take 124 beats per minute. That's more. Yeah. And then I simply start with one sequencer. Or should I go lower in tempo? What would you say? Okay, which tempo should I take? Should I take this tempo, guys? Or should I go lower for a Berlin School sequencer stuff? So I could say 110. Yeah, maybe this is nicer. A bit more. The other one's maybe too much to dance related. So 110 beats per minute. So I start with the first sound. We do some Berlin School. I start with a BIT2. And what I need to do first, of course, is play a few notes in a few chord settings so that we have also some chords going on. Let me see. I take A minor. That will be an option. So I take one note and I record it as one note. And you can see that I recorded it here. So let me show you. So this is pure because I will do the sequencer stuff. So you see, you need to watch out that the notes are not too long enough so that they go into the other ones. And of course, I will quantize. So I would really focus on doing some analog style sequencing. So I will start with bit 2 now. I make this a block. It's essentially 2 bars. And you see, I need to move it around a little bit to have it, let's say, on here. It's between. Okay. So that doesn't sound interesting, isn't it? Now let's start with the first sequencer. Well, in the past, you remember we had sequencers, analog sequencers, and if you were lucky, you had 16 steps. And of course, here we have 16 steps in bit 2. It's called an arpeggiator, but you also could say do it as a sequencer. And a sequencer, then if you play a chord, it just plays just one sequence. So now, if I would play it now, so now it plays once. Okay. Right. Okay, I need to cycle it, of course. Sorry for that. Cycle so that. Now, what I could do, for instance, in the past, you also had 8-step sequencers. If you look to the MOOC, a modular system, it essentially had a row of 8 steps, and you could link 2 of them. Well, one trick, what you can do here is instead of changing the tuning here, is use key entry, but I will not use that one. I simply will say, okay, make it 16 steps or 8 steps for the start, and let's see. And just like an analog dial, I will change the hey, and there you have a nice sequence. Now I could expand that one to 16. Let's see if I have a copy. No. Okay, I'll make it 16 steps. I need to copy manually now the sequence I played. Sound is not interesting, but don't bother about the sound. Now it gets better. Let's make it. And maybe with Berlin School, it's maybe only one sequence, one note. So yeah, that's one good thing. Maybe the chord is too much of it. So if I throw away this one, the second note, I simply take this one, make it one long note. Okay. Now I make the sound a little more. Now I adjust the envelopes. Now this is not the bass, so what I could do is cut off a little bit of the low end by using a high pass filter. And of course, what will be nice is a delay. And then you have the option to have different types of settings. So I have 1/4 quarter note and 1/8 dotted. So maybe I can take that 1/8. And you see here I make the delay a little bit muddy. So I cut off the low pass filter so that it sounds a little bit muddy. And this makes it nicer in the music, and cut away a bit of the low end. So I had a good start with this one. Okay, so to be safe, I save this one, save preset as Berlin Challange 1. Let's see if it fits. Yeah, that one fits. So that's the first sequencer. So I really do everything from scratch and try to make a Berlin School stuff. Okay, now the variation I could do, by the way, this is almost, I think the melody is identical, is to make a little change here in the, so we had 8 notes. I'll make it 16. I have a little difference here. So maybe with ratcheting, so I need to put it on. Let's see what happens if I use ratcheting here. No, that one, maybe this one. No, this one is not. So this is the steady one. So I keep this one as it is. And then I go to the next track. Let's take another synth. I make that one maybe a kind of bass thing. So I could use sub-boom bass for that. Also a 0 sound is. Now I again need to place the note, and what I can do, of course, very clever, is here simply copy that one. Then I have already a note playing, and I play them 1 octave lower. Now, and here I can make also playing the sequencer, make it active, and see what we can make here. So maybe here. So here it's of course the matter of just playing around. No, listen. Now I have a little bass sequence below it. Yeah, and you see this one is dry, so that's an option. Now the other one is pretty low in the frequency setting, so if I go back to this bit, I still can use a little bit more kind of high pass filter. So this makes that, so this sequence by bit, if I listen solo to it, let me see if I can play it. No, it doesn't do as solo if I don't have selected it. So even if you don't notice, but there's still a lot of low end in this sequence sound. And if I close the high pass filter, you will hear that. Let open a little bit. So I cut away the low end by just using the high pass filter. That makes that it mixes nicer with the real bass of this build of Berlin school sequences. So now if you play it solo, it might sound a little bit thin, but essentially if you combine it with the other one, then it's better. Now we could check, maybe the bass is still nice with a mono delay. We couldn't pan it. Of course, it's a bit strange to pan a bass. So now there's a little bit of delay. I keep it dry. I think that's better. It keeps it a little bit more. So now I have two things playing, essentially three things. So the drums and two sequence sounds. So for the ones which are a little bit later, I'm just doing by scratch a very old style 70s Berlin school sequencer fun part. So I have bits with this sequence. Now, and then we could add another one. So, okay. In the meantime, I press save here so that I don't lose anything in case something bad happens. And yeah, why not take something from Predator? Here's the Predator. Also here we have a ARP. Very extensive ARP sequence, which also can be in a sequencer mode. You can press it active. Let's take here really a typical square sound. And here we also have ratcheting. Of course, you need to put on the ratcheting. Now, so it's just one single note. Already interesting. I could pan this one a bit to the left. And then, of course, I need to, what you can do in all our synthesizers which have an ARP or sequencer is use the key entry. You press this key entry, this button down here, but you keep down the main key is C, because if you have C3, you see it doesn't transpose, but it records the notes and even the velocity of the notes. So here you see the velocities it did record and the notes I played. If you have 16 played, the key entry goes off automatically, and then if you press the note, very dry, isn't it? So I would use this one, delay on the mono delay, but I would put the mono delay on the right hand side. And then you need to see which one is. And also here I'll make a little bit. So let's see how this one joins with the other stuff going on. So it's still very dry. Even did not change the filter type. Let's see how this one combines. And then you can edit the arpeggiator. So I copy, because again, the same note, because that makes it easy. So essentially, it's just the sequence of playing. I think this one has to be a little bit higher. I can do it also in the synth. Okay, no, I lost. I can go up one octave here. And then, of course, by just shutting off steps, I could try. Yeah. Yeah, that one is nice. And you could get, okay, that's cool, which is a bit less. Of course, in that time they didn't have that much of a reverb. And I do in these ratcheting, one play without ratcheting, on off cycle. So the first time it plays without ratcheting, and the second time it plays the ratcheting. So then you have 3 sounds. So I need to save this one, of course, save preset as Berlin Challange 1 for Predator. So here you can see I build up the sequences, so making a now what I can do now, and what you can do is to make it cool, of course, if you record, is that you can record the also modulation wheel. So I have now 3 sounds playing. So what I could do is another one with bit 2. And that I think more really a bandpass filter sound. So here I go again, copy this one. So I still only use the sequencers, built-in sequencers, arpeggiated type of things. Okay, this one. Also here I can do entry. Okay. Here comes it. And you see now I have different velocity values. I take here the bandpass filter. Use the velocity. And you see the accents is done by using the velocity. And if I increase the Q, no delay. Yeah, and you can use the model wheel. Or the LFO in free mode. Just one oscillator, by the way. You can use the second one. One oscillator is better. So you see, this sound shows that you not always need to use multiple oscillators. So if you check this one solo, it only uses one oscillator. So the LFO is changing the filter, but also the velocity. So this is the envelope amount is 0, and the velocity is a bit open, which uses the velocity of the sequencer. Also here I could change things, but well, the only thing what I could do here is the magic modes, that it's 2 steps random or random step plus 12. So then it fits. So now it changes randomly each time 2 other steps. Now this, and now set random, which means that it's step 2 and step 11 is off. And here you see step 13 gets a 12 semi plus. So it's the step plus 12 semi is the magic steps, which means that 2 steps, which is here set random, 2 steps are changed, and the plus 12 semi are 2 other ones which are changed there. I cannot detect yet the other one, but should be somewhere. So, and then you have the combination of this. So it has some more variation. Okay. So maybe this one is a little bit too. Yeah, you always can change the feel by. So this is maybe better. And you also, change the delay. So you see little changes make, yeah, that's a cool feature. Johan just mentioned it in Cubase. If you say, okay, you always can change the semi. So if you go up here and you pick one of the parts, you can transpose it here. So, and then of course I have then make it 9. So that's what I'm doing. I'm simply from scratch doing some Berlin school sequence songs. Now we could use another predator. So we have the bass. Which is dry. And we have the first sequence, which was this one. But I did cut away a little bit of the bass, so that it doesn't interfere with the bass. And then we had this one. Oh no, not that one. We had the little percussive one. In the reverb, and then this one was the bandpass filter. Yeah, the Berlin school of sequencing is more like the old style in the 70s, like Tangerine Dream and Klaus Schulze, where they had these repeating sequences. Sometimes it were only 8 steps, maximum 16 steps. And this developed because it was pretty, how you call that? Maybe a little, it was a kind of trancey style of music at that time, because it essentially the whole music style developed because they had this limitation. So they had a sequence with 8 steps, had to tune it, and then they started out with the sequences, and then so something like this. Yeah, Kraftwerk, a little bit. Kraftwerk was then a bit more melodic. So the Berlin school, they call it Berlin because it was, Tangerine Dream was from Berlin, and I think Klaus Schulze originally also was from Berlin. So I just building. And this one, maybe I should shut down a few steps. they had phasers. So that's maybe also cooler. So I only have few. Yeah, what I then also very often use is, of course, yeah, this is maybe not for everybody a known music style, but from there on, trance did involved and dance music. But it was the limitation of the analog sequences where they have very monotonic sequences, which created the atmosphere. So let me add another one. Okay, maybe simply. So there's another, and I start each sound from scratch. So the only thing what I do is copy this note which is played. So you got this. Put on the sequence. And that's what they also did. They had this running, and they set the melody. So now I'm just playing. I'm just experimenting. Okay. So then you have something Berlin School, and then you had this created a whole music style because they had this limitation, and that is of course cool. Limitation makes people creative. So and then you would get that people improvise on it. And let's play this a few notes. So you see, I recorded some pad sounds. So, and of course, now everything keeps on playing. So what are in these things should, of course, build up that you have this one not playing. So that you have more something like this. Let's see if what I'm doing is right. Why is this one muted, by the way? Yeah, all the trance music came out of this. So the roots, just like pop music, the roots are in blues, but in electronic music, a lot of the roots are from the Berlin School of Music. What I would need then, of course, is a nice moogie lead sound. So maybe I add a bit to add instrument track. Bit to add track. Then I go to bit, and then you have a lead sound, which you need to have for something like this. Synth leads. I think this one is 9. Okay, let's see if I can hit some notes. Then you get Berlin School, so that you got then the okay, so I need to go back to the start. Yeah, you can build up with more things, of course, doing more drums, whatever, but it's more about the sequence and the atmosphere you get with the Berlin School. That lead sound could fit. Continue freaking. So something like this is the Berlin School, and of course, yeah, from that all kind of different other music styles involved, like trance music, dance music. Kraftwerk, it was not really Berlin School because that was more poppy, melodic, of course, had a lot of sequences. So this is more an example of this type of music. And yeah, maybe I should work this one out. There are some nice sequences inside, but what you also can do to give it a little more juice is using the modulation wheel. So I have this one. That's the bass. I would not do anything on that one, but so I could say modulation wheel. So, and while recording, you could do then also a kind of layer thing, so that you have the track, and the second recording you do only the modulation wheel, which changes then the filter. I don't hear it. So it little changes a little bit. Now you see it goes over the, but these are things which you can do, but also in the other sound, which was the, which has this bandpass filter. Make it go darker, you know, modulation. Or go up. So I think the start should be with the sequence and then later on the bass, because this sequence is the nice groovy thing which makes it a little bit more this trancey stuff. And the drums, you don't pay any attention to the drums. Then you get the here's it. Yeah, I definitely could work this one out for maybe for the new album I'm working on. I have 2 other songs working on. Maybe I should work on this one. And what I would do then with this song, for instance, I would like this theme I like. But it's now too long, so I would change it to the half. So the sequencer plays on only the half, and let's see what happens next. Yeah, so that needs to be worked out, because the music, when I create myself music, I'm influenced by the Berlin School, but I tend to go more than melodic and combine these things together. So yeah, this is about today, about simply from scratch. I was building this Berlin School, and for the, yeah, funny, some people never heard about Berlin School, but picture Klaus Schulze or Tangerine Dream, Tangerine Dream, I think, which were from Berlin, and that created this Berlin School of Music, which essentially had its birth in the sequencer, which only had 8 steps or 16 steps, and they had this monophonic or monotone, maybe monotone is the right word, monotone type of sequences, which did lead to a given music style. So you had then like this. That one time's not so nice. So I will leave out the hi-hat. So let's mute the hi-hat and do some weird noise stuff. I still have 1 track free, so the last thing I will do is make some some noisy stuff, noisy sequencer, which is also very interesting. So here I copy again, so I'm gonna use again the sequencer. It's playing 1 note over 1 or 2 bars. I open it. So I open it, and then you see. Oh, I played the lead sound with that one, or whatever. I go to here I take a default preset, pick noise. Okay, go to the bandpass filter and take the 12 dB bandpass filter. And of course the arpeggiator starts to play now. I can use key entry to make some difference in velocity settings. You see that here below. And then let's see what happens. It starts playing now. If I'm right, it should be playing. Come on, baby, play. I don't need... Okay. Doesn't play. Right. Oh, key entry is still on. Now, you see, now it's noise, one level, but the velocity settings are different here. So I shut down. And I open the velocity. Get this weird noise sequence. It's a bit like Peru did in the past. So I'm not sure if this typically Berlin style. This is more Dutch. And then of course you have the delay. Okay, let's see how that one funkies with the rest. Okay, I need to start from the start. Tweaking around. Yeah, that is an option to have that one instead of the hi-hat. So that will make it a whole electronic. Just a little bit. So then you have a little piece of Berlin school. I like. Yeah, when they played, well. Yeah, there was in 1980, there was no MIDI. MIDI came in 1983. So everything was with gate and CV. I can tell you, it was fun. guys. So this is a little bit about Berlin School and just the challenge of today. So let me check the chat room because I was busy on Cubase. And maybe I should work this one out for my album because it has some nice sequences, some nice melody ideas, I think. Yeah, why not? And that sometimes happens regularly just by playing around. You suddenly run into something. Okay, nice. Let's use it. Okay, yeah, of course we had, well, if you look at my studio, we have on my right hand side is the Core MS-20 SQ10. It was not always fun to play that because you had to tune each stem. Now you simply go to one semi, two semi, three semi. At that time you had to tune it, you had a tuner at your hand, sometimes it drifted again, and of course you had to write it down. So once you had a very nice sequence, you had to write it down because there was no memory. But yeah, I mean, but again, it's all about music, and you see then limitation in the music, like limitations with amount of steps create a whole music style. And of course, these sequences are known, also still used in many dance music. TB303, of course, is also so typical thing, you know. Let's see if we can demolish this dragon and use a kind of TB303 ugly thing over it. Yeah. Going over the top. It's yeah, you get a special atmosphere with this. So yeah, I think I will work this one out for the album. That's gonna be on eLive. I will present it on eLive. Will be 14th of October, and if I'm not wrong, there are only a few cards left. So check it out. Let me see. I think I shared it. Was I think something like www.elive.nl. If I'm not wrong, you can check that one out. Johannes Schmörling from Originally Tension Dream will be playing. Also other artists, Stefan Erben and other artists. So check it out. It's one of the coolest electronic music festivals in Europe. And full is full. It's a nice, very nice environment, very nice concert room, very nice acoustic, and of course I will be there with a little stand presenting the new album. So less than 50 tickets left, yeah, and I think they will be going very fast. Anyhow, thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We went well, I think, with the sequencers in the Berlin school type of style, and I hope to see you back next week. And maybe I can show you if I worked on this track and made it a finishing track. Winston has a remaining question. I played on E Live in 2019. That was a few years ago. And last year, together with Ron Boots, we did a nice tribute to Klaus Schulze together with Ron Boots. This time I don't play. I'm too busy, and of course also have to do the new album. Okay, thanks for watching. If you missed it, you can always start at the beginning, and I created a playlist for the live stream, but YouTube has now, if you go to the YouTube channel, you have videos and live streams, so they already have a kind of separation for the live streams, and you always can watch it back. Thanks you for watching, and if you like it, give it a thumbs up, and see you next time. Bye-bye, guys.